Last time on Legends of Evantris Prime, not a whole lot happened. You faced the Thorn Mother, Virea Blooming Crown, in the chamber of the Vault of the Watchers that held the heart of the hunger below. She was attempting to open up a massive portal to the elemental plane of fire, utilizing the hammer of the First Forge, which she had stolen from the fire giant Duke Grudo. As she was growing the size of the portal in order to fit the massive seed of regeneration, which would explode in the constant supply of ever-burning fire, would effectively act as a limitless eruption of brown mold that ideally would wash across the continent, perhaps even the entire world, the entire material plane. And a vicious battle broke out as she was joined by the masked entity, the masked one, who had been advising her the whole time. In the heat of the battle, Vandris slew this masked entity, and as he sliced the mask in half, he saw the slain face of Warden Mirandris Dark Crescent. Fell to the ground dead, and Virea got her revenge, and with a power word kill, she ended Vandris's life. However, thanks to teamwork, some very high rolls, like literally 20 natural 20s, over the course of a night, and the fly spell, that I didn't really play around very proficiently.
A lot of clutch moments.
They were a lot of clutch moments like you guys. 17 natural 20s. So sometimes those happen.
4 hours back.
Sometimes those happen. Or the opposite, you get the Rajani fight where no one rolls like a higher than a 14. And you almost die.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah,
It
it's
steamrolled.
Gold Dragon. It's Gold Dragon, you're dead. With that, the Virea was finally slain. The anima, her soul essence, no longer channeling the portal, and seemingly needing to use the power of the heart, as she was not of the blood of a creature of the mountain. And the portal was closed, unable to send the massive seed of regeneration through. She died, and after being impaled on a fucking thorn. And, however, as she died, the contingency plan of 5 tunnels opening up, allegedly dug very far and wide to 5 major populous areas, marks of civilization on the edge of the Thorn Wilds. And if the seed of regeneration blew, the tunnels were all lined with yellow mold, and so at the very least they would destroy 5 cities, if not the entire continent or world. And Orpheus finally revealed his plan to neutralize the threat. He pulled out the original artifact that he had stolen in your first meetings with him, the Eyes of the Abyss, where he had stolen the sapphires that went into the helmet from Triton Azran months prior when you first met him in Pridefall. He was able to recalibrate all of that work in order to take himself and something of that size to the plane of ice, the plane, the plane in between the elemental plane of air and water, to the depths of the oceans where it would still explode and kill him, but at the very least it would be very much contained by the frigid water. You said your goodbyes, and he teleported away, saving those 5 cities and your own lives. As you...
Awful. Do you think he killed like a walrus or something?
Walruses would be protected. Would be...
You're right.
Any
beasts would be like...
Well, he was kind of a beast.
Get this shit off of me. As you were grieving your friend Orpheus, the heart of the hunger below is still beating violently. You took time to grieve, but you didn't have time as a figure stepped out of the shadows of one of the tunnels, and it was the masked advisor, despite you killing it before. As the heart have stopped beating temporarily, beat again, you felt the gaze of this entity, and you all were horribly stunned. The creature opened a valve, covered you in mucus, attempted to transform you into horrible, strange abominations, as your minds were also warped. However, the channeling power of that intense spell or ritual was interrupted by Ronmir as he leapt into the room, firing 3 explosive arrows from his bow. and blasting the robe and the mask off of the masked entity. Now unmasked, you saw this strange, bizarre, eldritch statue-like man, but made of mother of pearl and radiating with horrible colors. And you recognize and you heard the voice of Triton Azran as he cast a disintegrate spell, and it blasted into Ronmir, turning him to fine dust. He then told you all that you would all accept your fate in the cosmic plan, just like he had done. That he was Triton Azran, but he was also his entire line, at least since whatever had led him down this path. And that he had become the Avatar, the Eye, the Pearl, and the Herald of the Hunger Below, who he named as Halashner. With that, he popped a case that grew to incredible size, where he lowered the heart in, and then both blinked out of existence. And that's where we begin the session.
Oh, that's my cue.
As the word Portum echoes through your minds and in the room, you see the shimmering shape of that statuesque but abominable statue of a man shimmer and fade. And as soon as he blinks out of existence to your view, quiet finally returned to the chamber. You regain control of your bodies as they no longer revolt against you, with the horrible mucus from the heart of Halashner finally entirely dried up. What do you do?
As soon as I'm able to have control over my body again, I would let out a scream and run to. I guess is Ronmir in a pile?
He's in a pile of fine dust.
I would just go to that pile and just kind of pick it up in my hands and let it sift through my fingers.
You do that. You run over and you see it's a pretty large pile. This beautiful bow, a longbow that your father had made of antler and wood, is scattered across the room, and not too far from it is a pile of fine ash, and it is so smooth as you grab it, and it slips through your fingers like water.
He's gone.
I'm sorry. They're all gone. And I stand up and I just kind of processing what's happened. I'll say, after all this time, it was Azaran?
I don't even know what to say. I mean, we were all in that cave with him, and any one of us could have been hit by whatever he was touched by, become whatever that was.
Is this my fault? I was the one heading north to look for the man. I was the one that brought us to him. I was the one that agreed, sure, we'll go into the caves with you, we'll go into the mine. What if I hadn't done that? Would this have still happened?
It could have been anyone. Right? I mean, you can't possibly blame yourself.
Maybe it's fate. Like Baba Yaga and Azram and the rest of them put so much weight on.
This was not supposed to happen. This is not fate. I'll be kind of scooping the ashes together and trying to put them into a satchel.
I would say you'd be able to find a small bag that you may have used for rations or for, really some snacks or anything that would be pretty tight.
Not my snack bag.
Maybe not your snack bag.
Jesus.
But there'd be something, maybe herbs for some medicinal purposes.
Yeah, I'll just dump some out.
You can dump that out, and you're able to get almost all of the dust in there.
Annalyn, I really don't mean this to be rude in any way, but could I have some of Ronmir's ashes, please? because it's important. Just a little bit.
And I'm going to take it, and with Nolzur's marvelous pigments, I'm going to begin to mix his ashes into the ink, and I'm going to form a doll that looks very similar to Ronmir. And I'm going to hand it to you.
I know that I will never be able to bring him back, but you can at least always carry part of him with you.
It looks just like him.
It was the best I could do, but it's mostly this brush.
But we can bring him back. We'll find him and he'll bring him back. If he took him away, then he can bring him back.
I hope so. But at least that doll will always have part of him in it. No matter where we go and no matter what we do.
I'll just cry and hug. Just lean way down.
And I'm going to do the same thing, but without any ashes for Orpheus. And put it in the neck.
Do I know anything about true resurrection spells?
Give me a religion check straight.
Straight up.
Oh, I'm gonna use. I have my green dice out, so I'm gonna use a lone guard die here.
Bada bing. Fate.
Natural 20.
Natural one.
Would
Oh.
say no. Fate would say that Rodek is dumb as a brick.
Plus, I mean, it's int, so it's like +1. So
No,
it's just-
absolutely not. I think the fact that Sylvie was brought back from the dead, from being a skeleton, you think was absolutely incomprehensible, and absolutely incomprehensible, and only through the power of Baba Yaga. You remember Chief Kodo, who had been dead for 5 to 10 years. You still had his body, and
his full body,
and his full body, and no missing limbs or anything, and still restored him to resurrect from dust. But you know that the power of the gods is incredibly, and Baba Yaga and other powerful entities. But as far as the true resurrection that you're thinking of, no.
Well, we saw Sylvie come back from dust.
It's fine.
So it's not impossible, but I don't know of any spell that can do it. Only the immensely powerful like her. No, death's not the end. Kind of put my arm on his shoulder. For you, or for him, whatever he is, or for Grogmir.
I am covered in blood from my boots up to my waist from having decapitated the Thorn Mother. So I'm all sorts of disheveled, a mess, covered in fluids. I am going to walk over to Mirandris' body and just survey what's left. I don't want to leave her down here in this pit.
You look and you see the robe, and she just really has a simple tunic on beneath that robe and that mask, and it's really just her. She is horribly wounded. You get the sense that for as strong of a warrior as she was absolutely not cut out for the level of combat that you were bringing to her. And whatever had been done to her, whatever she was doing, was very much strengthening or elevating her combat and resilience, her combat ability and resilience.
Well, we need to get out of here. I don't intend on leaving her here. And we have to figure out what to do with that. I point, kind of motion to Thorn Mother's head.
And her body's there too, right?
Yep. Her headless body now, in her battle regalia, it's horribly beaten up and impaled and blood soaked, and the plant and the bark and the fungus is all still there in her body, and she looks, despite the shapeliness and that strange beauty that she still has even in death, it's still, upon closer inspection, she just looks like a slain monster.
Yeah, I'll say, well, we need our head. Perhaps we should bury the body.
I suppose you're right.
But not in here. And I look and I remember that there are 5 tunnels filled with mold. What are we to do about these? Just close them up?
I don't know. But when I was gone, I had some sort of a vision. I saw my mother, and it was as if the entire city of Cygnus was consumed by mold.
Well, we stop that. That's not going to happen now. Even if this did explode, I mean, the amount of fire you need to send it on its way is got to be... I think she's safe. I think.
Will the mold, even if we do manage to seal these tunnels up, I mean, will the mold ever even just die? Or will it just live down here forever and we're risking a ticking event?
Touch the sun, doesn't it?
I don't know.
We don't have anyone we can ask. Do I get the sense that how like chock full are these tunnels, and how big are they? Like, could I walk in the middle of it?
You can
and
walk
be
in the middle.
surrounded?
Yeah. So the floor itself is mostly open. It's really the floor towards the tunnels and then all the way around. And I would say the tunnel is probably about 7 feet tall, each one. They're very similar. They're probably 7 by 7, maybe 8 by 8, as they go all the way down in varying directions. You know that some probably twist and turn to go. 3 of the cities were south. One was straight west, and the other was northwest.
Well, this is not a problem we can deal with right now, I don't think. Unless one of you have a way to make things be cold like Orpheus did.
We're underground, right?
Okay.
Well, I made the dolls, but we can make other things with the pigment too. So what if we drew a hole in the ceiling so the sun could come in, and then we drew a diamond with facets pointing down all of the hallways, so it radiated light and warmth down all the hallways? Or would that make it hot and
I think that
explode?
would explode everything. Or at least make it glow a wee bit.
Oh.
Can we...
We'd have to draw a lot of snow, and by the time we were drawing all the snow we'd already drawn would be gone.
I want to just take one step into one of the tunnels. Does it feel like extremely cold?
You step in, and it doesn't feel cold. It smells incredibly musty and poisonous, though, I would say. You know that yellow mold, or this strange yellowish orangish mold, had different properties than the brown mold. So rather than being
This is yellow.
this is
Okay.
yellow.
Touche.
Yes, this is more of a.
And what do I recall of yellow mold?
I'll say make a nature check at advantage.
That's where Annual's a Viking. At least I hope it is.
Ooh, natural 20.
What the? For a total of.
27.
Okay, delightful.
You
You
don't
recall.
know anything about yellow mold.
that the properties from what you had encountered, and you saw both of these molds in your time since coming to the Thorn Wilds. Brown mold, you all know what that is. It devours the flesh of most things. This particular horticultured brown mold, or I guess floromancy is a better term, spared the life of plant and beast creatures for the context of the game. Yellow mold, you knew, was incredibly toxic to inhale. But the property that the Thorn Mother was using it for was to act as tinder, as catalyst. So that was what was coating all of the roots of all of the trees in the Thorn Wilds, which is why it allowed the fire to go into the roots, travel to the other ones, burn that, and go to the roots, which is why the entire Thorn Wilds ignited once the Oak of Midsummer got ignited by the hammer of the first forge. It was the yellow mold on the root that basically spread it to basically go out, and it was basically an instant when the first seed went out. I guess technically the second seed.
And would I know anything about how to get rid of it from that roll?
I would say with that roll, you would know that that fire does get rid of it, but it just spreads, and it will burn away very quickly.
Oh.
And so the main purpose of this, it would burn away, and if there was other things flammable, it could cause a forest fire. But it burns up, and then it immediately. The idea is that why it was so deadly, it caused the flame, which then expanded the brown mold, and then it was basically a horrible chain reaction. And so fire does burn it away; it burns away the poison. You know that cold will also freeze it, just not nearly as effectively as cold does to brown mold.
It's not cold. Do you relay any of that?
Oh. Well, why would it be?
Accelerant, thank you.
Oh, is it not like the brown mold? Is it?
Yes, and that it's mold.
Oh, this is the... Can I just say that I recall?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You recall everything. You put it all together.
Aye, this is the stuff that this burns easily.
Maybe we don't have a problem then, like you said, right now, that we need to deal with. I mean, there's nobody even in this city, or what's left of it.
What I mean is, if we light these ourselves, they'll burn away, as long as there's no brown mold to carry with it.
Is it worth risking?
Well, the risk is that if there's something along the way, or these tunnels go to somewhere that is flammable, the fire can start there. And if we have some way to magically travel to the ends of all of these tunnels, which would take, I mean, we're talking hundreds of miles.
Hundreds of miles, yeah.
What if we just blocked off all the tunnel entrances? And that way, if a fire lit in one, it would only destroy that one. Or just collapse the tunnels.
It's not a bad idea.
I think regardless, we should perhaps use the pigment and just plug up these holes. And that way at least someone can't come down here and accidentally light 5 cities on fire.
Sure.
Do you agree, Sully?
Sure. I'm too short to do it.
Oh, me too. Look at Mandarin's.
How tall are these? I mean, like, how massive are these tunnels?
7 feet.
About 7 feet tall.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad.
You could stand on Roderick's shoulders.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. As soon as I get to about the midway point, I'm going to need to use you as a footstool.
He's stocky.
And sturdy. All right.
I will, like, very deftly just, like, step up onto Rodek's shoulders and say...
I'll grab him by
And I'll
the
use
ankle.
Mage Hand to hold the bowl of pigment and pass him the brush.
So, like, what would I do? Just, like...
Just draw like a stone, yeah.
Just like think about like
How much paint did I give you?
A lot.
We'll need to decide, math, how much you've used so far. But basically, I'll say you don't even need to roll for with all of you helping and you taking your time. What is that?
I'm not helping.
Yeah, no. Well, 3 of you
No.
helping. You're with your brother and you're the doll.
I would go pick up his bow.
And so you
sit
look
on
at the
floor.
bow, and you remember your father making this bow for him. And you see the antler, and you see the wood, and it's the craftsmanship is absolutely unrivaled. And you actually see that there is strange kind of
We have 6,000 square feet worth of pigment.
oh, I don't even know what that is.
For just this one, I actually
We did
have
use a
to do it
ton
again.
to dig out of the heart chamber in the first place, right? That would have been tons and tons of it.
Yeah, but you see that there's
And
carvings.
then another 8,000.
Got it. And so
I forgot to roll.
And so you see there's actually additional carvings into it that seem to faintly glow. That seem to have been modifications, perhaps, that Ronmir made.
I'll just sit quietly and kind of run my finger over the engravings.
As I'm standing on Rodek's shoulders and the bowl is floating next to me, I'm gonna dip a brush. I have a brush, right?
It's a big brush, right?
Yeah,
big
it's like
brush.
a big.
I'm gonna dip it in a thing, and on the side of the bowl, I'm gonna.
It's like a giant calligraphy brush with a
Today
really.
we're
thick-
going to use just a nice light gray, boulder-esque color, and we're going to make sure that we do nice wide, broad strokes. Oh, a little out of line there. Oh, but that's okay. No mistakes, just happy accidents. Just happy little accidents, and we're gonna give it some nice texture.
No, beat the cloven out of it. Exhausted dragon, yes.
And then I will go to each tunnel and paint a nice, very beautifully textured boulder.
All right. Oh, okay.
With Rodek,
Like he'll accidentally complete a boulder and like fall on my head a few
Your name
times.
would be Vandross instead of Vandress.
that's pretty good.
Uncle Vandross.
Or Luther Vandross.
It takes you, I would say, probably the better part of an hour.
Yeah, it does take a while.
Probably a little bit longer, actually.
Yeah, it would take a long
It would take a couple hours, we'll say. You know that it's definitely past sunset.
Yeah,
at
it's
this
10
point.
minutes for every 100 feet.
Okay, yeah, so this would have been a while. So you will say you take a couple hours to make sure that it's sealed up, and you see the charred, cracked roots and the corruption as you occasionally, as the boulder takes form and presses, you hear the creaking and groaning of the withered, brittle iron bark. And sometimes the roots snap, and you see that grayish corruption in the root from the constant exposure to the heart of Halashner. But eventually all 5 of the tunnels are sealed, and the only exit now is the stairs up to the vault.
Are we ready?
What do you want to do with her?
I'm going to take her up with us. I'm not going to leave her down here.
Do you need help?
No, I can do it. Thank you.
I'll look at Sylvie. Do you need help?
With what?
Do you want like a piggyback ride?
No, I'll walk.
Do you want anything else?
No.
I'm Warden's beard. I hope Baba Yaga has some answers.
I don't want to talk to her. I hope she doesn't come to see us.
Why not?
She knew Fist was going to do that. And she didn't think, even for a second, that it would be better that we knew. I wonder if you can stop being someone's Sylvie. I mean, I know that I got my magic from her, but could I just stop?
I don't
Do you
know.
think?
I don't know if it works that way. I know that I could turn my back on one of them. Cute.
Would you not be able to have your magic anymore?
Probably not. He grants it to me. He works through me. I'm not sure how it works with you. You didn't even know about her in the beginning.
No. Anyway, I'll think about it tonight when I'm by myself. Let's go.
I'm gonna scoop up Mirandris. I assume someone has the head.
Yeah, I'll reach down and I'll grab the head. And I'm going to take just the dirtiest blanket that we have or towel or whatever, and I'm just going to place it, and I'm gonna wrap it up and tie off the ends.
You do that, and you see that all the roses are incredibly small. The brilliant gold, now a faded, almost rusty-looking gold, as they all shrink back, and you, almost knowing that the head that the thorns are attached to is dead. As you wrap it up, you're able to easily put it wherever you'd like to. And the size is pretty large because her body did not shrink down.
Yeah, I'll place it in the back of the
Yeah.
The blanket is actually Fecal Deck's old holding blanket. Got it.
Where is Fecal Deck?
Fecal Deck is on the mantle
yeah.
of my room
Chateau de
in
Sylvie.
Chateau de Sylvie.
That's sweet. I wonder how that poop doll holds up over time.
Probably not.
Well, Gus is there.
Maybe Gus is repairing it. And it's like that scene in Toy Story 2 where he's like adding straw, or he'll go out to the stables and collect.
Everybody needs a hobby.
I'm upset. Yeah, I guess we would try to leave and hope that we don't get, et by some crazy, horrible mist monsters.
Well, that's a good point. Right, so I would take the lead. I'd say, let's just be as careful as we were going down here. Just because we dealt with this doesn't mean that things are fine upstairs. Alright? And I'll begin the long walk up.
I'll say that you go stealthily. You hear the sounds of strange movements deep in the vault. You know that some of the creatures that have broken free are just simply lurking, wanting to be left alone. And as you make your way up, you see now, able to take a little bit more time as the immediate danger is no longer, at least that you perceive, present. And you shine some magical light perhaps down tunnels, and you see the brutalized corpses of more of the vault guards, and realize that anyone who had survived the seed of regeneration everyone was the unlucky one, because of how horrific the deaths had been from the creatures that had been unleashed from the vault break. You make your way up to the top, and you see the night sky. You walk past the ruined door, and now the brown mold is just in small patches. And you see that parts of the ground, there's already what look like flower gardens. You see small saplings rising from the forest floor. That you see the skulls of elves and giants alike, with moss growing on them, and some small fern-looking plants already rising through eye sockets. As you look up, you see the night sky and you see the stars, and you remembered how beautiful the dome of Maka had been, in almost its eternal twilight, with the shimmering magical phthalites and the murmur of a city full of life, both humanoid and civilized and wild. And now there's nothing but charred remains and the remnants of a city that was here, but new life growing all the same. You hear the animals that seem to have returned. You hear the large cats, the bears, the owls, the stags, and the other various woodland creatures. You hear the strange cry and skittering of perhaps those horrible Kruthic monsters that Orpheus had mentioned, but they seem to be skittering away off into the thorn wilds, perhaps to spread and populate. Who knows what will happen there? But you see the moon.
Ecosystem is forever damaged.
Where there had been no moon in this eternal twilight of Maka, you see the moon looking down indifferently as just the ruins of the city are before you. And you hear a contented sigh in your head, Anulin.
This is enough dead giants for me.
What? What do you mean? I'll shake my bow on my back.
You shake your bow and there's no response.
Are you all right?
My bow. He said this is enough dead giants for me.
What does that mean? He's sated?
I don't know.
I mean, we've been through a lot. Maybe it's just the heart and all of the effects that we felt. Maybe you're just hearing things. Are you sure it was him?
I'm pretty sure I know my bow. He won't talk now.
Well, I mean, until the next time, I guess we run into some kind of giant. It's usually when he wakes up, right?
I don't know. It's just like one more person's gone from me.
He's probably just resting. If the bow needs to rest.
Well, maybe he has some kind of quota. Every 100 years he needs to slay, X amount of giants, and
You're right.
now he has, and maybe he'll just be hungry or whatever.
I'll just
Later.
keep him safe until he wakes up again. You might be right.
Is it early evening or is it late at night?
I would say it's not late, it's not early. I would say it's probably just
Night.
probably night, maybe 7 or 8 p.m. It's about spring now, so it's, the days are getting longer.
And the buildings you said were damaged, but not consumed. They were broken.
They were broken and splintered just from the sheer force of the blast, but it wasn't like a nuke of radiation and fire. There is charring from the flame of the hammer of the first forward as well as the summer flame, but really it was just it was mostly concussive.
I don't know really much about Mirandris, but I feel like I should just bury her here. I don't want to just leave her out. The animals might be able to get her. I don't know what else to do.
Well, in your culture, what do you do with the dead? If you do.
With artistic liberty, I would like to say.
I would say you decide.
Cool, yeah.
You decide.
I would want to do basically akin to what the natural burial pods are now. So kind of surround your body in a soft bed of moss and cover it over.
I think that would exactly be what I would have said as well. Yeah. Well done.
So I relay that.
All right. I guess we don't prepare to dig. All right. I'll follow your lead.
We'll still bury her, right? All right, I'll dig. You'll find some moss. And I'll pull my shovel out of the bag of holding, and
I'll instruct him kind of what it would.
Yeah.
Sort a more shallow kind of
Right.
of grave, and then I'll help him line it with soft moss from the forest floor. And
You do that.
flowers and
I would
stuff.
just lay Mirandris down and try to clean her up.
You clean her up, and you try to you close her neck, throat as much as you can, and you try to clean up the blood. And in this state, with the amount of work that you're doing and the time that you're taking, you feel like you've done a decent job making her look presentable. And as you lay her down, and the ground rumbles.
What was that? I'm gonna look around and have my bow drawn.
And suddenly from around a tree, you see what looks like a massive tree emerge. It's just in the darkness of this lightless city. You see bark and moss and leaf. And you see two very sad-looking, glowing, fey-light eyes in ancient Cragglebark as he stares down at the small grave of Mirandris Darkcrescent.
not even this young one survived in her hole.
No, she was tricked or manipulated. We fought. not knowing it was her. And she fell.
We all fell. I can think clearly for the first time in so long. We all were deceived, young ones. Every one of us. And now my only purpose. I have failed.
And he looks down at just a smattering of retreating wood elf skeletons.
Are there more of you? There are at least 3 other survivors. One may not survive her wounds. The giants were more equipped than we ever could have guessed. Well, you could find new purpose. You could rebuild, or at least return the rest of it to the earth.
The kids are going to need somewhere to come home to.
He looks at you and says,
There are young ones that survive.
Yeah, I don't remember how many. There was quite a lot of them, actually. They got out on carpets.
Well, at least there is a glimmer of hope in all of this darkness. Right. We need to find some way to call them back. If this is the best place for them, is their food still? Can you protect them if they come back here? Well, the beasts of Maka most survived. And with perhaps more survivors in the denser thickets of mold, I may be able to save several more yet. I know in my bark that you put an end to our mother. For that is the only reason my mind is finally clear.
he looks sad.
Well, it's not your fault. You didn't fail. It was her. She did this and you had no choice. Now, you can keep doing good. You can have a new duty. You can keep protecting people. That is my purpose. Even if there are just a handful of children left.
They're going to want to see a friendly face. I know that when my village burned down, I would have given anything to just see one person I knew.
Tell me where you left them, and I will find them in the morning. I will bring them home.
We had like a map that we'd kind of like crudely drawn map showed Orpheus where there was like a safe spot.
They're like on mountain peaks, aren't they?
It's like out on the edge of the.
Yeah, they're on like the top of the mountain area.
I'll if I have a map, I don't.
We would just relay that, right?
I'll relay that or draw a little quick drawing.
I will tell our owls. Perhaps they will return this evening. Right. Well, maybe one day this is all done. We'll come back here and help more than we can. We must be going.
I knew in my bark that you must. Although it makes me even sadder to see you go. To at least see one child of the thorn to have survived.
And he reaches down and gives you a small pat with his very almost rock-like bark.
I'll just kind of reach up and touch his hand.
But there will be plenty of time to mourn. I take solace in the fact that we are still in spring, and new life and rebirth is part of the season, and with that, hope.
Right. Hope.
Tiniest one.
And he steps over to you.
I don't want to talk to you, but thanks, bye.
And I'll step around behind Rodak. And I'll whisper up to Rodak.
I don't have any more in me to have friends. You have to handle this. I can't do friends anymore.
You can do things.
Stop talking to me. You asked if I needed your help, and I'm asking for it. Deal with it, dwarf. Biz, it was nice to meet you. Goodbye. We can't get married now. Sorry.
And I'll just stare down at the ground.
We've been through a lot, as you might expect.
I know. You get rest. Do what you must. The forces of nature will ensure that those children are taken care of. You have a friend here. I will not leave my city. I will not leave my oak, even if it has burned away. New life will grow in its place. If there is one thing our mother was right about, it was that.
And he starts to stomp away.
Goodbye, my friends. Goodbye, friends of Marka.
Like you feel the rumbling as he makes his way away.
So that brings up a good point. Are all of the trees like totally burnt out, like across the entire Thornwilds?
Most of them are, but you get the sense that the further out it was they were just really lit for a moment to carry the mold. It was not like they were burning for very long. It was almost immediately snuffed out.
All right. I suppose that this is it. Randris, I am truly, truly sorry for what I done. That's it.
Origin. Keep this one soul safe while she finds her eternal resting place.
Do you want to put anything in with her in the grave?
I don't think I have anything. I don't really carry much.
I'll just sort of like make an arrangement of some kind of like symbols in the grave, either with like, I don't know, her initials or something kind of like on the moss on top of her before we would fill the grave in.
You do that, and there's plenty. I mean, especially all the new growth, and it's incredibly rich, vibrant, strong growth. And you're able to cover her fully as much as you'd like with a wide variety of plants and lichen and fungus.
I will, after watching Anion do this, I would take the hood of the Cloak of the Bat, turn it up against the chilly night air, and just begin to walk towards where the promenade used to be.
You do that. And it's tough, but you'd spend a lot of time in the city. And you see the ruined buildings. the smashed shops. People, you see some broken windows where people have been cowering, and the mold had been able to force its way in and still devour the skeletons, still devour the souls inside. And you see what was this beautiful, bustling promenade.
You guys are welcome to follow or not, whatever you feel like doing. I would have just tried to go to the promenade and see what I can salvage from the inn at one of the taverns. Van just needs a drink.
I'd follow like 20 feet behind, just give you space to kind of like grieve.
I will, while they're doing that, I will stay and I will take at least 10 minutes or 11 minutes, whatever it is, to ritually cast Funeral Rite. And as I do that, I will say, "You're all forged from the earth. To it, your turn. May this rite act not just for Andrew's Dark Crescent, but for Ormir Musgrove, Orpheus Radamanthus. May you, great soul forger, take them all into your one light, until we all meet again." And I will sort of, if that was right, if you covered her up, or do you just cover her in moss?
I don't know. I'm thinking about it in my head.
Right. Anyway, I will gently cover her very shallowly so that it looks like it would be fertile earth to grow something new.
You do that.
And then I will just sit there with Sylvie while they head out.
You feel the comfort and Morden's presence. He's certainly here. As you pray, your hands glow, and Mirandris's body shimmers in warmth of, well, you know it's the warmth of the forge. It looks like a Mirandris's form, the defender of Maka till the very end. The last rays of a summer sun. And Vandris and Annulin, you manage to find a tavern that is in relatively decent shape. Plenty of smashed bottles, but you find a couple bottles of wine and spirits that manage to survive. And plenty of cups and a lot of empty chairs and empty tables.
I would salvage what I could to stash some in my bag and take one of the bottles and pop the cork with my teeth and spit it out with a glass in my hand and pour a shot and knock it back and say, "That one's for you, Orpheus. I didn't forget."
Wait.
Pour another one, pour her one, knock it back and say, "This one's for you, Ronmir. You saved us."
I'll knock it back.
Annulin, I'm truly sorry for your loss. And pour myself another and pour her one.
Oh, I'm sorry for yours.
Slam the bottle on a table no matter how busted it is, and find a chair that's in relatively decent condition and sit in it, and then sip at the glass. And just kind of think about things.
I'll leave him silent. So I'm just going to do the same.
And you all sit in companionable silence and you drink. And you drink until it's time to return to your friends. Rudolph and Sylvie, what do you do while they do this?
I will look at Sylvie. And I will say, you know, just because he did what he did doesn't mean he wasn't your friend. It doesn't mean he didn't love you.
You don't get to tell me what he thought or how he felt.
I won't pretend to know. But I will say that what he did, it was a sacrifice. It was noble. And it's one of the greatest acts of kindness.
And so why didn't we have a ceremony for him? Why did we have a ceremony for What's-Her-Face? Who helped her? We didn't know her. Who cares? was our friend. He loved us.
That's why I named him too.
Great. I'm glad he was just a mark in your pages. I don't want friends anymore. Because when you have friends, your heart hurts. When you have family, your heart hurts. So if you don't love them, you don't have to feel for them.
He deserves more than that. But what he'll get is, you heard him. We'll tell his story. Vandris will live a long time and tell his story. And I'm long gone. It's more than any of us can. And he deserves it.
He deserves to have his life back. And so does Ronmir.
And that's not
And
something
so
that we
does
have to
what's
forget
your
about.
face in that moss over there. Nobody deserved to die. Those kids don't deserve to be orphans. We saved hundreds of kids and they have no family. Is that kind? Is that okay? No! None of it's okay. So don't tell me what he would want. Don't tell me what he would think. We're not heroes. We're monsters. We should have never come here. I should have stayed home. I should have stayed Sylvester.
And I'm going to walk into the forest.
And I'll start to like call out something about all this stuff. And I will. I'll just sit in contemplation and next to the grave.
As Sylvie walks away, you feel the air cool and a drop of moisture on your forehead and on your cheek as the sky begins to open up, finally mourning Maka like you do, as it rains. The cool rain of a summer evening that in any other circumstances might be pleasant.
Yeah, I'll sit in the rain. I won't even bother to try to go, get under shelter or, find like a thicker part of the canopy. I'll sit there and get wet.
You do that. And you all sit
I
effectively.
eat Carlisle.
Carlisle
Has been consumed.
I'm kidding, I don't actually eat Carlisle, but I felt like we needed a
you
laugh.
feel the cotton ball in your mouth getting considerably larger as the cocoon feels starts to squirm a little bit. And
I'll reach in and I'll just kind of stroke the side of the cocoon.
you do that. And you all sit more or less alone, all of you, trying to come to terms with the severe amount of loss that you've experienced, everything that you've accomplished, and it lingers in each of you. And especially now that you're alone, especially now that the catharsis that you've been building up towards for months, since you left Ogway, months ago at this point, or many weeks at the very least, you feel that catharsis, the release of all of that built up tension. For the first time, there's no immediate pressing matter, no one to save. Anyone to be saved, you've either succeeded or failed in the immediate. And as that tension releases, as you either sit alone or in companionable silence, more or less alone in your thoughts, the quiet allows each of you to feel that emotion what you had felt in such tremendous degrees, covered in that mucus deep beneath the earth. As Triton Azran attempted to conduct a metamorphosis not unlike what Carlisle is experiencing, and you feel it. You double check, and your body is whole, it's the same, but that feeling, bitter pride or disgust or fury or lust, whatever it was, you feel it very faintly in the lingering echoes of your soul.
As I'm sitting there in the rain for a little bit, I would take out the kind of prayer anvil and place it on the ground. And I would sort of ritually, sniff. And so this sort of magical molten light will kind of erupt from my hammer. And I'll do that for about an hour if we have it.
You bet we do.
I will use my channel divinity to forge a metal object.
That happens. And Thandris, as you sit, you lean back in your chair to take another drink, and you've had a lot at this point, but you feel something that's actually digging into your back, or your lower back.
Oh, God, what the hell's wrong with this chair?
And you reach in and you realize that something is in your pocket that wasn't there when you got ready this morning. And it's metal and it's cold, warmed now by your body. And you pull out a silver pocket watch.
What the gods? Oh, that bastard. He put this in my pocket.
What do you mean?
The damn pocket watch. He had it last. He must have slipped it on me while I wasn't paying any attention.
Oh.
Damn it. I'm just gonna slam it on the table next to me. Not hard enough to break it or anything, but just with force where it makes a noise.
Of course.
Damn. Fiddle with it a little bit. Pop it open. Look at it. Close it back up.
And
pick it up, open it. Close it back up.
And you open it, and you see the picture of that very beautiful middle-aged, probably a little bit past middle-aged halfling, and you see the inscription of "For My Little Turtle," beautifully etched in. But then you actually see that there's an additional scratched message written in common, and it says, "Tell my story."
That bastard. And I'll close it up and fix the pocket watch to my shirt and put it in my where it would go in a pocket right in the inside of my cloak and actually wear it.
You do that.
And then I
Looks
knock
good on you.
back the rest of my drink and pour another thank you. I don't know how I didn't even notice. He's too slick for his own good.
You're right. I'll take another.
I suppose we should get back to the others. Rodek could probably use some of this.
Just,
All right. And I'm just going to gather the liquor that I can without, nothing ridiculous, but a few bottles that I could fit in my bag. And
it's pretty easy to sneak a couple. There's plenty of space that you have in your packs.
I'll just pat his back as we
And
walk out.
it's not hard to find Rodek. In this quiet city, just the life returning to it in the evening, you hear the clanging of an anvil, and in the glow of light with each one, you're able to find him pretty easily.
What is he doing?
Rodek. Hey. You all right?
Hey, I'm praying.
Oh, well, I'll just leave this next to you. And I put an entire bottle of unopened liquor next to him. We've already started. Just a little remembrance of those we've lost and whatnot. And I know that we have, travels ahead, but that's a problem for tomorrow, Evangelist. I don't care right now. I don't care.
You should have some. It really helps.
My father would kill me, smithing and drinking. And literally, I'm just gonna keep going, and I'll take a few big gulps.
I think,
Thank you a lot.
Yeah, no problem. I think at this point, most of the rules are probably out the window anyway. You want to drink and forge? I say you drink and forge.
Will do, and I'll grab it again, and I'll take another few gulps.
I'm just gonna sit down on the ground, like next to him, a few feet away, and just observe while I drink. Where's Sylvie?
She went off in the woods. Out there, and I point in the direction that she left.
All right.
I didn't want to impose on her. I don't like the idea of her being on her own with various beasties that escaped from the vault, but she can handle herself, and she can fly if she needs to.
I think it's wise we all just mourn in our own way for now.
And as you say that, the rain picks up a little bit, and you see now all of those smoldering embers from the ruins of Maka, from the destruction beforehand, are now finally put out. Anything that was still, that hadn't been fully swallowed by the brown mold. And the rest of the brown mold is washed away in the coolness of the rain. And it floods into every nook and cranny and building. And that earthy, musty stench that had been lingering even faintly now after a full day is entirely washed away like tears in rain. And you all perhaps sit together before you camp out, perhaps here. What are you all doing for the evening?
I guess the question, I would, if it's been a full hour and Sylvie's not back
Yes.
yet, then I would be. I guess what's Sylvie doing?
Wandering through the woods.
Then I guess I would finish, and I would collect what I made, and I would put my anvil away in my pack. And I'll say, I don't want to leave here because Sylvie knows who we are. Of course. Perhaps we just make camp and hopefully
She'll come back when she's ready.
we have to get the hammer back to Magnier one way or another. And from there, who knows what we're going to do next.
We have a hell of a journey ahead of us. I don't even know where. We have to go so far.
He said Mammut. So, either by fate or something else, it seems like it's calling us. I had a feeling we'd end up there before this was all said and done.
Just don't know how I'm going to muster the strength to go that far. I mean, think about it. It's like never even been. I can't imagine what it's even like. I don't know how we're going to get there in time, and who knows how far of a head start Azaran has. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't even want to think about it. It's just another problem and a whole list of problems.
But for tonight, let's not think about it. We know what we have to do in the immediate term. We know that Baba Yaga should hopefully show up at some point. We need to return the head. We need to get this hammer back to Magnia. And then we can figure out what the hell we do after that.
All right. Yes, that's fair. That's fair.
we're gonna lay down right here, I suppose. And I'll look up at the kind of torched branches and seeing some of the night sky, and I'll just kind of lay on my back. And I'll just kind of, stare at the sky, have some more of the booze that Vander just brought back. I just lay there.
You all fall asleep. Sylvie, you're out in the woods. How long do you walk and what do you do?
About an hour.
Okay, then what?
Then I will cast Liamon's tiny hut. I will crawl in and I will go to sleep.
Okay. You all doze off as the rain dissipates, and just a few more drops left. Very faint, misty evening it turns into. And despite your worst fears, you all experience a dreamless sleep. And you all enjoy a long rest.
Zowie. Long rest. And we lose Hero's Feast.
Hero's Feast is gone.
Yep.
The fox tail had evaporated, or I think I said that this foxtail had shimmered and glowed into...
Yeah.
So that's gone.
Is she back yet?
You wake up and Sylvie's not there.
No, I don't like that. Again, she can handle herself. She can go to the mansion if she wants to. So that's probably what she did.
We'll find her. Couldn't have gone too far.
Sylvie!
Keep a lookout for her.
And I'll go outside and just try to find her tracks and start following whatever trail that I can from her.
Make a survival check at advantage because you're in the forest.
The dead boy. Favorite terrain.
25.
I would say you'd be able to find the directions that she went. There's not much life out here.
I guess we should get looking then.
Yeah, and I'll just kind of start walking out ahead and following the trail.
And as we're walking, I'll just call out, Sylvie! Come on now, Sylvie!
I would do the same. Sylvie!
You hear your friends calling pretty quickly as soon as you awake.
I gotta deal with these losers today.
Say that. She'd wake up pretty easily from doing this. She writes that in her journal. I put on my mascara and my dark eyeliner, and I put on my Evanescence t-shirt, and I use Major Illusion to give myself really long black hair, but it's like crazy all over the place. Really teased out. I've got these like rainbow bangles on, and I'm just kidding. I'm not Nemo.
She's an Elvanescence.
Oh my god, Elvanescence!
That's good.
Sylvie's favorite band.
That's pretty good.
I'd leave my tiny hut. I'd pick up everything. I just basically had a blanket out and my in my notebook, or not my notebook, my grimoire, and I'll clean up my little camp. And
I'm just over here. Don't need to scream.
Oh, all right. Well, sorry.
You're okay? No.
Yep. Do you like how my hut's a little toadstool? See, I have a door here.
Ooh,
That's
forgot
nice.
that's how that worked.
Did you sleep out here alone? Yeah, with my toadstool house.
Seems cozy.
Yep, has a little hammock inside made of a leaf. How are you feeling today? Like crap, what are we gonna do?
Well, we need to... hoping that she turns up with her chicken hut.
You remember Baba Yaga saying that the Fey crossing under that same route would remain active to the Mercandraw.
I'm just remembering. No, we don't wait for her. We have to go back. We have to go back to the Mercandraw.
Why? We need her help. What?
We have to return Varaya's head. I certainly don't want Rhoda carrying it around for the end of time.
And if Titania can actually help us because of what we did, we could use it. So if we go back, we can go to the summer court, we can give her the head, and then hopefully gain favor and ask her help. We need to tell her what happened, what we saw, the being that we saw. She must know something.
You're right, we have to do that. Otherwise, all of this was for nothing.
Will you be okay?
No,
I made this for you last night.
I want anything from you.
You can destroy it.
Okay, then
Throw it
maybe
away,
I
bury it.
will.
You can.
I will then.
But I made it for you and it's yours. It's no one else's, so don't give it to anyone.
We can't say it like that, then you know I'm going to want to keep it.
No, and you don't
You're
have to keep
mentally
it.
manipulating me in front of people.
And I'll pull out.
No, come into the toadstool with me. Don't do this in front of Bandris and Annulin.
Oh. All right.
They're going to learn your tricks.
All right. Don't learn my tricks, you two.
Yeah.
Don't listen.
Yeah, stop listening. Don't watch. Gross.
All right, I'm walking over here.
Get in
leaving.
there.
I'm leaving.
I'm gonna smack him on the head
Do
as
I
we
open
enter.
the door?
Yeah.
And I'll lean in and walk into the...
It's big enough for you.
No,
You're
it is.
only like 2 feet
I
taller
thought that
than me.
Liam and Sunny Hut was like really small. Maybe not.
Well, I mean, it's big enough for Bandris and Annulin to be in.
okay.
It's a hardy toadstool.
So I open the door, Smurf style, and and I'll walk right into this hut.
Well, you're going to mentally manipulate me. Shut the door.
Oh, I thought you were going to do that. Sorry.
You're going to mentally manipulate me. At least do it in private.
I'm not trying to manipulate you.
You said I'm the only one that can have it?
I made it for you. It's yours.
What is it?
And I will open my palm, and in it will be a silver locket that has a silver chain. And I tried to, size it based on what I think Sylvie would wear. I say, go and take it.
Why?
On
Is there poison in it?
On the front, you see, as best as Rodek could conjure up with his magic, on the front is a phoenix. Sort of like a kind of... And it's not colored, it's all just silver, but it's like, kind of...
A fiery
some
bird.
sort of fiery phoenix with
Why'd
flames.
you draw a turkey on there? I have chicken legs.
No, it's a phoenix.
Oh,
And you can open it.
what's in it?
Go and open it.
Is it going to bite me?
No.
I'll open it.
Ow! The metal snipped my finger. Just kidding.
And inside of it, on the right side, or on the left side, it will say, in some sort of engraved font, it'll say Orpheus Radamanthus, hero. And then on the right side will be a kind of an etching of Orpheus's face, as Rodek remembered him as best he could. I just wanted you to have something to remember him by, in case we don't see him again, or until we see him again. We can find a way to bring him back.
Will you clasp it around my neck, please?
Aye.
I ate a lot of shampoo today, and my fingers are too slippy to do it myself.
Of course I will. And I'll take it back from Sylvie, and I'll unclasp the back, and I'll put it down around. And I'll avoid the thorny crown that she has and the roses, and I'll... Is this good?
Yep. Don't tell anyone this happened.
And I'm gonna throw my arms around your neck and I'm gonna give you the biggest kiss on the cheek.
That's really nice. Thank you. Now get out of my house.
All right.
You stink.
I know I do. And I'll walk out of the toadstool.
How is she?
I'm fine. The door's still open, stupid.
Oh, all right.
I'll just point.
And I'll slowly walk out, and you'll see as Sylvie's proudly wearing this locket around her neck.
All right. Shall we go?
I'm ready if everyone else is.
Okay.
I
Which way?
Just back to the tree. And just as well as I can remember, I'll start walking back towards the tree of Midsummer to where the Fey Crossing was.
Before we go into this Fey Crossing thing, I need a favor from each of you.
Sure.
Can I have some of your toenail clippings, beard hair, regular hair, skin somethings, eyelashes, earwax, just something. A booger or two.
I will yoink a hair from my beard.
Just like a couple at least.
I do the same thing from the top of my head.
Thanks.
Just a few
I feel like
strands.
I'll take out my
I'm
knife and
giving
just
you-
kind of like cut a little chunk off the tip of my finger.
Yay, the blood is best.
Yeah, we just like pull our hair out and anyone just cuts her index finger off. It's like, is this good?
No, I was trying to say like like my hair's a little long, so like a little chunk off the end of my hair.
And then I'll cut off a little bit of my hair and I'll tie them together with maybe I'll rip some threads off of my already disheveled outfit. I'll tie them together and I'll fold them up and put them in the locket.
Well, now all of our friends can be together always, no matter what happens.
Well, that was very sweet. And I like your new jewelry.
Thanks, Rudik made it.
That is truly amazing.
He knew things were the way to manipulate me. Shit, you weren't supposed to know that. God damn it.
I will attempt to forget it.
I'm going to write about this in my journal.
Is everyone ready?
As ready as I can be.
And we'll walk there.
You make your way and you take a look as it's still another rainy morning. As if the forest, the thorn wilds are taking time to mourn the massacred peoples. And you take a look around the ruins of Maka, hopefully not for the last time, as you walk up to the charred and battered remains of the Oak of Midsummer, and you walk under the root. You continue to walk, and on cue, the air gets colder. The smell of the swamp. And you come out on the other side, and the dark, dreary, but fully, wholly alive Mercantral. You hear the loud creaking of wood, the splashing of water, as from through the trees, the dancing hut emerges from behind a pair of willow trees in your field of vision. And as it and then rotates around until the door is visible, it opens and the wind howls. You hear the shrieking through the swamp. You're almost used to it at this point.
Oh, gods, I hate this part.
Oh, right, where's the snake? Mind the geese.
as if on cue, the door opens in an incredibly inviting, warm glow of an oven, and the smell of cooking food greets you. As the rippling of water as the massive snake slithers out, you still have not seen its head. And you're not even sure if it has a head. As it forms a walkway, you continue across and you see the geese looking incredibly... They had looked incredibly comfortable in your absence, and now are incredibly irritated as they give you a threatening honk and hiss as you enter.
Bow. Lightly.
You make your way into the hut, and you see the hut with all the strange knickknacks. The door closes behind you, and you hear the tick, 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 and the cuckoo clock. No, my baby! No, my baby! As it shrieks out, as you see the horrible jars of strange creatures and knickknacks. As you see at the fire a cauldron bubbling away with some strange concoction, as always, and hunched over it, her incredibly long, wart-covered finger, her bony, gnarled hands with a large ladle stirring as you see the headscarf and the shawl looking almost tattered and patchwork, realizing that this woman looks not like a poor woman of the woods. It is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful being that you've ever encountered. As she turns and looks at you with a mixture of grave severity, but also there's a soft approval.
You did what you had to do, my children. You performed better than even I could have foreseen.
As she takes the ladle and taps it out and hangs it on a rusty nail that's jutting out from the fireplace. And you see that her clay brick oven, there's something in there cooking. And you smell, as you see behind the cauldron, the smell of food is, you smell this glistening, delicious smelling meat. There seems to be something on a spit behind the cauldron on a series of double fires in this place. And you can't really make out what animal it is, but something is roasting back there.
So, do you know everything that happened? Did you see everything that we did?
I did see everything. I was there, of course.
And she looks over at Sylvie.
The threads of fate weave together tighter and tighter. This, what has happened, was something I had guessed, yet not foreseen. But I know that this was where all of our fates were heading. We are now approaching the end of all things. You do know that, don't you, my children?
Certainly feels that way.
She hobbles over to you and she claps and says, "Friends of my bosom." And those 6 strange disembodied hands appear and start dragging the table, chairs around, pushing you, taking your bags, pulling them aside. And you see you hear the grinding or the scratching of wood on wood as shelves are pushed around and space is made.
Sid, you have been through such an ordeal. Tell your Baba Yaga, how are you feeling? You need to eat meat and to be strong.
And she hobbles over, and you see now as she takes that large, I forget the name of it, but that large, kind of like a pizza spatula, but not for pizza. She pulls out what looks like a number of sizzling pies, and it smells so savory and delicious.
Is there a windmill in the background?
And she places it and then slides it out, and they're all sitting on the table next to the oven as they're cooling. And she once again, and the wind whips through. You almost hear screaming and howling as the pies are immediately cooled. And you see now what she was brewing as she goes over to her shelf of ingredients. And hand lingers on the toad with the eyeballs, and then over to the strange series of mushroom caps, and then the little chest of bone dust, and then she clutches a strange glass cylinder with a powder in it, and she dashes in what looks like cinnamon into the cauldron and gives it a stir as she as she takes a scoop of the wooden cup, and then she gestures her hand, and the bosom friends all bring more cups. As hot apple cider is brought to all of you and sat at the table, and then she the disembodied hands and the grand hag rests a delicious smelling meat pie in front of each of you.
Don't have to ask me twice. And I'll just pick the whole thing up and just bite into it.
It is a meager reward. But there is so much more to be gained, and far, far more to be lost.
As her beady black eyes stare at you, and they seem to be filled with concern. And they almost seem to be staring past you all as she's thinking.
We now know the true nature of our enemy. We know how this all will end.
How do we know how this will end? What do you mean?
I made a promise. I would stop the coming doom. I would put an end to all of this. And I will, but not just me. You, my riders, and you, Star Child. You are the instruments not of Baba Yaga, but of fate, of the cosmos, of Aventris, of everything they hate. You represent what they loathe and what they want to drown in black bile. And it will be you that sends the hunger below back from whence it came. And you will put a rest to the curse of the Azrads.
It's a curse? What do you mean?
She turns away and gives a nod.
There are curses that are stronger than the threads of fate. Your friend beneath the mines was doomed from the beginning.
So we were saying it would have happened no matter what.
I'm saying, my red son, you said, was it all your fault because you were the one who reached out? I would say he was the one that brought you there. That is how the threads of fate weave, my red son.
I've been a pawn my whole life.
But a pawn to make its move, to become royalty and save the world. Is that such a bad fate for a pawn?
As long as we can do it. As long as we can stop him. Whatever he wants to do. Is he even Titan Azran anymore?
She pauses and nods.
Yes. There is Triton Azran still in there, along with his mother, and her father, and his father. All the way back to when the curse began. But They all are together and more. The creature that you spoke to was not just Triton. It was not just Ezran. You were speaking to the hunger.
You mentioned that you would see him again in Mammoth. Is that where our journey lies?
Can you see?
I have seen the cold. I have seen the ice. I've seen the seas frigid, the storms raging above them, an X rising up through the waves. Creatures buried, imprisoned and doomed in the ice free. I have seen it all. But my sight, my future sight, the seeing that I have had in my whole existence is actively clouded now, children. It is now just glimpses, fog in my crystal ball. You are the masters of your own fate now. I cannot give you all the answers. I cannot tell you the secret to victory. I can just try to help my little grandchildren, my riders and my maiden, to fulfill their destiny however I can help. And I know my part of the plan now. You will be in Mammoth. I have seen that. It was thanks to the Phoenix, the anarchist, that you will go. It was he who allowed your victory. It was he who allowed your journey to continue.
Hey. And we'll do this for him. We'll continue. I need to ask you, because I've been reading those words over and over and over again since we first met. What do you mean an axe rising through the waves? What does that mean?
She pauses for a moment. And she clutches her wart-covered chin. It's pointed. Far longer than any humans would be.
The axe that swings down onto the neck of your people. For you will face the god of thunder.
Giant?
For now. Madness seeps up from the sunless sea. It threatens to swallow and consume everything.
And that's where we're going.
You will be going, and my part of the plan begins. It will be up to you to stop whatever evil is happening in the frozen north. I will not be able to help you where you are going. But while you brave the chill and certain death creatures beneath the ice. I will be seeking into the prime forces of your world. You did not see it, but your protection against the heart, just one heart, was close to breaking. If you wish to face Aslan and the hunger below in the final confrontation, you will need a full blessing, a full mark, a full boon of all 12 of the primes. Each prime one must touch your very essence and your anima and your soul itself.
And you'll figure that out.
I will seek. I will try to find their essence. Finding the remnants of a god is hard enough, much less dead gods, much less the prime gods of this world. That is the only hope that you can face. The hunger below, I fear to say his name. An entity made manifest.
In last episode, did we what did he say versus like what did we learn mentally? Because I know you were narrating a lot, and he also said stuff like we heard the name Halashna.
Yep,
Halashna, right? Did we hear the names of any other of the Elder Evils, or any other concept that there are other Elder Evils?
So the Will of the Five.
Well, the 5.
That was it. Awumit Mahmut, the beautiful perfection of fates intertwined. That's all I wrote down.
So I will then say, you were there with us. You saw us changing, metamorphosizing. Sort of like what you want to do to us. What was that? We were covered in mucus just like he was all those months ago. Are we going to have any lasting effects from that? Is there more than just the hunger below at play? I just don't understand.
The will of the 5. The 5 of the Elder Evils. There is the malevolence of 5 that peer into this world, but only one that ever made it through. In full body. It's evil given flesh. But all 5 are at play. All 5 wish to have their vengeance. All 5 wish to drown this world and all the worlds beyond in black bile. That is what you are all up against. I have another meat pie. I made extra.
And she grabs another one and hands it to you.
And I'll basically stop talking. I'll just go back to the thing.
We are now at the Emerald Forest, where you can make the trade.
Right.
Are you ready? It should not be far. The arrangements have been made. I have made further arrangements with the Summer Queen. She is more open to discussion than I had thought.
And she smirks a little bit as the door swings open. And you see the beautiful... Pull up the music here. As you see the beautiful green and gold leaves of the Emerald Forest rising up all around you, those beautiful fey glades, as you step out, and the dancing hut steps away. And for whatever reason, despite changing so drastically the last time you were here, you feel the warmth of the blazing sun above and the strange fey creatures all around. But you feel like you're more at home here than you were previously. You're not changing to match it. As you arrive triumphantly, you realize now that just through the tree line is that beautiful glade where you had first seen the unicorn. And you see that on the other side of the glade, there's the shimmering rainbow of color as that same equine creature stares at you curiously. As you arrive to the glade and you see that same outcropping where the professor had met you. And as you arrive at the shore of the glade, you see an incredible flash of golden light as it grows brighter and brighter. As you then see a silhouette emerge, a feminine shape that gets larger and larger as it approaches you. And then you see as it gets smaller and smaller in the trick of a light, as you see the fluttering of wings as a single pixie darts out, and in a flash of pink and seafoam green, you see Lumi as she emerges from this shimmering summer light, and she says, "Oh my gosh, you guys survived! I'm so happy! Oh my gosh!" And she immediately darts and flies towards you, Sylvie, and attempts to tackle you, despite being a tiny pixie.
What are you doing? You're a traitor. I thought you were gonna be dead.
I was kept as collateral. They said that I wasn't a prisoner. It really felt like I was a prisoner, though.
What's even a collateral?
I didn't know. I asked them to define it, and they wouldn't. I asked them to use it in a sentence, and they wouldn't, especially wouldn't do that.
Do you know what, though? What? You're probably the prettiest collateral that ever did.
Oh my gosh, that can be my fate title when I become
Oh my
a
gosh, you could be Lumi, the prettiest collateral that ever did. That's your last name.
No, it's just Lumi. I was never a
Lou.
I was never nobility. I was just
Lou, the prettiest collateral that ever did. Me, no, you can't have the me afterwards. It changes the whole thing.
She said, "Well, I like collateral as a noble name. That sounds great."
Yeah, awesome. We have a gross, disgusting head in our bag.
That's what I'm here for.
Want to see it?
Yeah, I really do.
Rick, open the bag.
It's gross and disgusting.
Yeah, it's covered in blood.
I think that she's gonna like it all the more.
I pull it out and I will unwrap it and I'll lift it up by the crown.
And her eyes go wide, and her wings start fluttering as pixie dust just falls down.
I know.
And
do you want a high five?
I really do. That's amazing.
Yes!
Yeah.
and up, there's a little poof of pixie dust.
I missed you.
I miss you guys too. It was a really nice collateral jail that I was in. It was really pretty. It was like spirally towers, and it was like a whole city of summer, and I'd never been there before. But now I get to be a lady.
Did you get to eat cool food?
Well, it was okay food. Once I bring back the head and become a lady, then I can eat all the cool food.
You're gonna be Lady Lumi?
Yeah, Lady Lumi collateral.
No shit, bruh.
That's amazing.
That's toots rad.
Yeah, and especially her, because her face looks like that. You guys really, you went all out on her.
Yeah, for real though.
The Queen Titania is gonna love it.
I'm glad.
Are you sure you're going to be able to get this to her without any issue? No interception, no failed delivery?
I'm actually not that strong. I just like to say that I am. And if I say it over and over again, then I can usually do it.
I just want to make sure that this gets to her, all right? I don't want it to be lost.
Oh, no, I know where I'm going. That's why they sent me. I was going to say, Lady Titania. Well, I didn't say it to Lady Titania. I said it to Helia. And I said, they're going to be so overjoyed when they meet Titania. And they're going to be so happy, and especially Sylvie. And then she was like, hi, you really think that Queen Titania would waste her time to meet those people? Even... Yeah, no, she's very busy and very important, and I mean, I'm a nobody. I mean, I probably will never get to talk to her ever, even as a lady, you know?
You just have to make sure that the head gets where it needs to go. We can't afford it to be lost.
No, I know where I'm going. That's why they sent me here. They trusted me to come get this gross head with the crown.
I just look at Rodak. And I throw my hands up.
She even has a place where it's gonna be. It's apparently gonna be on over inside of the bed.
Just give her the head. I don't know what else to say.
In like a nice bowl or something.
I don't feel good about this.
It's the best we can do.
It's Lumi. What's she gonna do with it?
Get captured and some horrible malevolent plot with this
I'm gonna
crown.
be tricked once again.
Well, let's see. Can you? This is heavy.
I just feel like we.
Why don't you just shrink it with your fey magic?
Oh. I think maybe I can do that. I don't know. No, I don't want to mess with it. If Lady Queen Titania looks at that and says, "Man, Lumi Collateral did this," then I'm a goner. My head's gonna be there.
Lady Lumi Collateral.
Lady Lumi Collateral. Yeah, it's a great name. I'm glad you thought of it.
You're welcome. You know, my life just really isn't the same without you. I'm starting to realize why I are the way I are.
Well, I mean, maybe that's why we were such good friends. Maybe that's why you're like, oh man, look at that pixie. We can let her get eaten by spider caps. Or we could save her because she seems kind of cool.
And also because you know how anytime you fall asleep, I'd wake up, and anytime I fell asleep, you'd wake me up. And so for months we didn't sleep, and we almost went insane.
Yeah, I remember that. I think I'm still suffering.
Me too.
I'm very much the nervous wreck, and that didn't help.
I know.
He just puts his head in his hands. Just like, oh, dear gods.
If you ever come to Chateau Sylvie for sleepover for a month, we can do that again.
That would be amazing, and we did meet a lot of fun possums and other nocturnal creatures that we wouldn't have been able to get to know if
you
we
remember
fell
that one
asleep.
time we got bitten and we started to froth at the mouth?
Well, no, it was good because they're opossums, so they can't carry rabies.
I know, but we can.
Just once. Only one time, though.
Yeah, I guess that was true. Man, that was a long recovery.
Yeah, I know. I still have the scars.
Yeah, me too. She pulls up her shirt. No, I'm kidding. She flies up and grabs the head and says, "Wow, this is really heavy, man. This is one big, beautiful lady. Well, I guess I'll bring this back to Titania. I'll become a lady. I'll have a place, and then I'll be sure to visit. I should be able to have. I can come and go as I please. Hopefully, they don't throw me in jail again. They said they wouldn't.
Yep.
You're sure that you can get that back to where it needs to go, and that this covers the deal that Baba Yaga made with the with Titania?
I feel like we ought to deliver it in person.
Don't think that they're going to let us do that. Seems pretty clear that we're not allowed in the court.
Could we walk you to the city just to make sure that everything's fine?
No, that would be a terrible idea. You would not be welcome at all. I mean, that'd be very disrespectful and rude. Then my head would be next to hers.
I look at Rodak, and I look at Lumi, and I look to the rest of the group, and I say, well, it appears we've reached an impasse.
Yeah, I don't know why any of you expected good things to happen to us ever.
Excellent point.
That's fair.
So we just let it go, and if the world falls apart, well...
We've come this far.
Yup.
Great. Well...
Good luck.
The good news is that old Honey Paws is gonna get to meet Titania, and they get to talk, and then he gets to give us some honey and some mead, so that's gonna be good.
Well, at least someone gets to meet her. Sure. Is there anything else we can do for you while you're here?
Just promise that you'll come back and see me, or at least let me come visit.
Of course.
Well, you can come visit, but I don't think we're gonna come here because we're not welcome.
That's a fair point.
I can work on trying to get you guys like a guest pass or something.
Yeah, no, I think I'll pass. I feel like, no offense, Lady Lumi Collateral, but like, if Bring Back This Gross Bloody Head didn't get us a guest pass, I don't think you going, hey, can my friends come over? It's gonna get us one.
Well,
No, I mean,
I'll see what I can do.
I'm sure this won't be goodbye forever.
No, it won't.
yeah, no, you're welcome to come to our place anytime.
Yeah, no, I like Chateau Sylvie.
Oh, it's a
I'm
good
gonna
place.
I'm gonna come visit as soon as I can. As soon as I finish setting up my Lady Collateral house. I don't know what that
Are you
is.
gonna get a whole house?
I guess that's what ladies do. We get land, I think. I don't know. It's gonna be
I hope
great.
it doesn't suck.
Yeah, that would not be great, because I've suffered a lot for
What
this.
if it was right next to an angry beaver den, and there were 2 angry beavers in it?
Man, I would bet they would get into so many hijinks.
I know, and you would probably get blamed for all of it.
I would probably get mixed up in a lot of hijinks.
I know, and then every time they did something, you go, ah, dang it.
I would
You know-
probably be saying that a lot, yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna miss you, Sylvie.
Oh god.
I'm going to miss you too. High five.
High five and hug, and she high fives, and she drops the head, and
You're definitely not gonna lose it.
Maria's head rolls and collects like there's grass blades and dirt like getting all over it, and she hugs you, and there's a poof of pixie dust that settles as she nuzzles into your cheek and says, "I'm gonna come visit real soon."
Yep, I hope so. We'll see you later, though. Okay.
Thanks for getting me out to come out of my shell and getting rid of my social anxiety for the most part.
Yeah, I kind of liked it better when I could lie to my friends about what you were saying, but it's okay now.
Yeah, you really told him I said some really fucked up stuff.
I know.
I would never be that mean. I would only think it. I'd never think it out loud.
Really, you thought those things?
A lot worse.
Wow, I knew I liked you.
I like you too, Sylvie. Goodbye, I'll miss you.
Okay, goodbye.
And goodbye, guys. I'm sorry for thinking all the bad stuff about you, and thank you. And please keep Sylvie
Fine.
safe.
No, of course, absolutely. No worries.
If anything bad, if you get attacked on the road and you lose it, you find a way to let us know as quickly as possible. Do you understand?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, good luck.
Okay, I know where to find
Warden
it.
speed.
Okay, where did I drop that thing? Oh, it's rolling off into the water. Oh, I'm surprised.
She finally gets it out. It's bloated
You
water.
look over and you see the unicorn go. And she zips out and grabs it. Goodbye, I love you.
Bye.
As you see this little pixie fly off and sparkles and zips away.
So
Well,
that's definitely not gonna make it.
We can only hope that this is a minor detail in the threads of fate of the universe. That's all. That's all we can hope for. It's out of our hands and it's with the gods now.
Oh no. Well, I'm just not gonna think about it. I'm sure it'll be fine. I have faith.
Surely you have some sort of a expression for this, Mord take the hammer or something.
Sort of.
I really hope I get to come back and visit someday. I want to meet those beavers.
Oh, we could also meet beavers on material plane.
What?
A good question, I guess.
Good question.
Dwarves.
You, as you're turning to leave, you see more movement as you make your way back to the tree line. Movement from the direction that Lumi left, and in the shimmering glow of the sunlight, you see the fluffy fur of that same fox as it looks at you, and then just nods, and then it lingers, and you can see that it's looking past you, and you see off behind the tree line the dancing hut waiting, and then the fox turns its head and scampers off.
Oh, well, guess we just run away into the Feywild and pretend like it's somebody else's problem to deal with that weird guy.
It would be nice if we could do that, but we can't.
Well, can and can't is really up for debate.
Well, I guess theoretically, it's physically possible we could do that. I don't think anyone would make it very long. I think the Feywild would be next, after the material plane, then all the other planes.
So what you're trying to say is the only way for the Feywild and all of everything to exist is for us to do this stuff?
That's the impression I got.
I'm with Roderick.
No, it's all doomed.
Possibly true.
No, it's definitely doomed.
Well, I'm going to try.
I've made a doll out of poop before.
Right. Yeah.
And something important rests in these poop covered, well, not now, hands.
All we can do is our
At
best.
least I don't think so. Nope, just dirt.
All right. Here we are.
This is it.
Vandrus fucked a chicken.
You arrive,
happened.
you walk back, and the door to the dancing hut opens, and the screaming, howling winds and the literal screaming surrounds you.
Oh God!
As you enter.
It just hit me. Baba Yaga probably saw that whole thing.
I think she sees everything.
Oh no, that's terrible.
So, yes.
Oh
Sure,
no.
it's nothing she hasn't seen before.
Oh no.
I mean, she arranged all of this, so I mean, it's probably what she expected.
I'm not going to be able to look her in the eye. Let's just go in the hut.
You know what you could do? You could just react the way that Dobro reacted every time he looked at her. He never had to look at her once because he just closed his eyes and screamed.
I'm not going to do that. I've grown quite fond of her, and I like to think that she's grown fond of me as well.
I don't like her anymore.
I don't believe that for a second.
It's true.
Okay. I don't know what to say to that.
You can have her if you want her.
Well, I mean, I trust her.
You can be her maiden.
I don't know if it works that way.
Vandrus, the maiden Tristram.
It is not how that works. As Baba Yaga shambles over, and she looks at you, Sylvie, down past her incredibly long nose, and she says,
I know that fate can be painful.
Yeah, it is. But what's even more painful is the people that you trust lying to you through omission. So, sucks to suck, I guess.
Everything I do for your sake.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're gonna, like, hag whip me or something. I don't know how that works. Maybe I'll die. But, like, I don't like you anymore, so I don't want to be your maiden. Can you take my powers away? Or maybe don't. Just in case I'm around that opossum that was foaming at the mouth.
You will need those powers for much more. And I will not hag whip you.
as she walks over towards her the corner of the room where you see that large mortar and pestle, and then the birchwood broom, and she grabs something that is hanging off of it. As she walks over and says,
You may not like me anymore, but
No.
I want you to have this.
I don't want it.
It is mine. It was mine, but now it is yours.
Ew, then I don't want it. Gross.
It is yours. Your birthright.
No.
as
But you have to answer a question for me right now.
she hands out, while she listens to you, what looks like a large witch's hat. But it seems to be like perfectly made of
You've
incredible
been talking to Rodek about how to mentally manipulate me, and I don't like it.
It wasn't me, I swear. I swear.
And
I swear, tell her. Tell her. Please tell her. If you don't tell her right now, she's
I
gonna...
do not need a dumb dwarf to be able to know what my maiden would like the most.
Why didn't you tell me Orpheus was gonna kill himself?
Because, my child, I know your mind. Your mind is my mind. I did not want to cloud it. I did not want your thoughts distracted of what was to come.
That is a really sound argument.
If I told you, my maiden, and she looks at you, and
I would have been very distracted.
There's a grave sense of seriousness, but there's also a gentleness there.
if I had told you that Rodek was going to die,
No, is it gonna die?
not that I've seen.
Oh.
If you all
Well, that was
do what
mean.
must be done. What if I told you to go and fight Virea? And at the end, Rodek would have to sacrifice himself. Would your thoughts be clear? Would you be able to make the decisions necessary to defeat her?
No!
Your mind is mine, child.
Give me the hat!
She hands it to you.
This is really ugly. In just the ways that I like.
I'll put it on.
You put it on.
Look at how gross this hat is. It's so old.
This really suits you.
I know.
It looks great. I have been waiting to give that to you for some time.
Oh, I'm just making noises. Sorry. I'm practicing being a Sylvie in this hat. That's all.
It suits you, my maiden.
Thanks. Sorry I said I didn't like you. I'm just really angry at basically everything in the whole of Vantress right now.
There is much to rage
Except for
against.
him and Annulin
That is why you
and
should.
you.
I am glad that you do not hate me, my grandchild, the daughter of her grandmother's love.
It feels nice to think someone likes me.
Lots of people like you, Sylvie. I like you.
You're not a people, you're Annulin.
I guess that's true.
You are a bright morning.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. Gonna be.
Do you have a present for Vantress?
That won't be necessary. I'm just happy to be here.
None
He
that
looks
you would
really
want.
uncomfortable because he didn't get a present.
No. That's all right. I am just very appreciative of your hospitality
He likes
and,
you a
and all
lot.
that you've done for. I do, absolutely. I
I
was
think
just.
he's got a crush on you.
It's not like that. It's much more of a.
I didn't know he liked weird old hags that smell funky.
I am just grateful to be a part of the team.
Better than a chicken.
Okay. Well, she wasn't a chicken when I was busy with her. All right. She was a.
Dunk on her.
She was a perfectly normal female woman death lower. All right. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know why this needs to be said every single time. She wasn't a chicken. Oh,
Parts of her were chicken-like.
well, you know that's.
She looked like a chicken to me.
Oh boy.
All right.
So what's next? Where do we go? What do we do? Is that head gonna get where it's supposed to go safely? Because I didn't want to tell you this at the time. Because Lumi's like my best friend, but I don't trust her. I wouldn't trust her as far as I could throw her, and she weighs like half a pound.
One moment.
She does seem
And
a
her
little
eyes
freaky.
wash over milky and a mixture of pink and this mint green. And then she comes back.
She has arrived to the city of summer.
Oh boy, I
Right.
feel so much better.
Good, one
With
less
the
thing.
head, right?
Yes,
One less thing.
Just checking.
All right.
a set of eyes.
Just chicken?
Just.
A set of eyes in the city of summer.
Yay.
Right.
You all have done very well.
Thanks.
If I need your attention, I will visit you. You know how to expect me.
You're kicking us out.
You should spend the night in your home. It is time to wrap up and tie up the loose ends, the hammer to the Mountain King.
Will you take us there?
I cannot take you there that easily.
We gotta catch a greyhound.
All right, well, we'll figure it out. All right.
We will meet again in far less happy circumstances.
What?
These are already really bad.
There is nothing about any of these circumstances that's good or happy in any way.
Then you should know what is at stake and what is to come.
Shit.
Right. My riders, my maiden. Farewell.
Bye. Thanks for the hat.
I am with you. The threads of my fate are entwined with yours as well. Are you ready?
No, but let's just do it.
Yes, I'm ready.
She gestures you all together, and in a ring around her, she waves her hand, and the cauldron starts to bubble and boil and cast this strange light as a flash of silvery bluish light bathes the whole room, and you feel a rattling in your pocket, Vandrus, as the lines around the pocket watch start to glow, as you see what look like magical runes start to swirl around through the air. And she looks at all of you one last time and says,
We will fulfill each of our own destinies, and in the process, we will win, and we will crush the other evils.
and with a final wave of her hand, your vision is entirely consumed in that same kind of light from the pocket watch, as your feet leave the ground of the hut, and your consciousness is torn apart. You feel like your souls are traveling tons of miles, and suddenly you emerge, and you see glowing runes beneath you. And you see the remnants of a makeshift prison with a plush chair and a very fitted alchemy lab. Pretty plush for a prison. And you see a whole library of bookshelves. There's a whole bar, a little rolling bar, as you are in the basement of your home in Goldhaven.
We should leave it just like it is.
I agree. I don't think we should touch any of it. I can't believe we're here.
We're home.
It's been a long time.
I hope my sister got the fuck out.
I'm gonna have to tell her. No,
I did before we left, but I knew she'd stay.
not again. I mean,
No.
Prometheus.
I can't believe we're here.
You know what this means? You're gonna have to talk to Gus.
No, not me. I'm going.
Almost on cue. You hear the door to the basement open, and you hear a voice call out, "Hey! Hey, is that actually the teleportation circle working? Or is that another phantom sound? I check it here several times a day, but it's usually just my imagination that continues to get away from me."
Hi, Hi, guys. We're home.
Wow, gosh! The masters and the misses of the home!
Several times a day. We've been gone for
And
months.
you see the elderly man come down the stairs as he looks at you with his crazy mane of white and gray hairs, and he stares at you past his huge spectacles. They're on his nose and says,
Wow, gosh! You look like you all have seen better days! Maybe you should just stayed at home and kicked your feet up for a while, taking it easy.
Thanks, Gus.
Or was that really insensitive to say?
Can you run us a bunch of baths?
By your haunted stairs, I'm thinking yes.
Can you run us some baths with bubbles in them?
Gosh, yes, I could. I haven't run a hot bubble bath since Master Orpheus left. I kind of miss scrubbing his back gently and tenderly with a sponge. Or also singing him sweet serenades.
Gus,
Yes.
Orpheus didn't make it.
Oh, gosh, no, tell me it ain't so.
I wish I could, but I gotta tell you it is so.
Well, gosh, that's very
Do
disappointing.
you think you could do me a favor?
Yes, of course, I mean, it's kind of my job.
I want you to leave this entire place exactly the way it is, except to take down all the bars, so it's not a dungeon anymore. And build a mantelpiece, and then I need you to have some really amazing painter who's named after a toothpaste make a portrait of Orpheus to hang above the mantelpiece.
Gosh, the famed painter Colgate just died last week.
Rage. Rising. Subclass. Changing back to assassin. I have to stop it.
But of course, I can do that no problemo. You know, I'll just grab my sledgehammer and those bars will be out of here pronto. Gosh. Oh, hey, I forgot what great timing. You have a visitor here who's been staying here on the house for several days now. It's been about a week. He's been waiting for you and he's not very happy.
Oh no, is it Vito Velocity mad that all of his corporates are gone?
Oh, was that you who did that? It was all over the news.
No, it wasn't. It was Orpheus. May he rest in peace.
Oh gosh, we probably should have. Man, it was wall-to-wall coverage.
Wait. Who's been here for a whole week?
It was a guy. He's up there waiting for you. Come on, I'll bring it to you. We're almost out of whiskey. I gotta go get more.
Oh, sweet God,
Oh
Soul
no,
White.
it's Swedgen.
Oh,
Might
come on. And he leads you up the stairs and through the mansion.
Who else is
And
drinking all our whiskey?
And as you turn your way into the study, and you see a darkened whiskey bottle slam down onto the table as you enter the room, and you see the rough, grayish black hair of a little past middle-aged dwarf look at you as Swedgen Kindlegem stares at you as he drinks your whiskey in your study, and he points at you and says, "Where the fuck have you been?" And that's where we'll end the session.
I wonder what's going on in Pridefall.
Oh my god!
Shit!
Blast from the past.
Yeah, what a blast from the past.
Episode 1 was the last time he was seen.
So he was in episode 1.
Yep, he was in episode 1 very briefly.
My god.
Hey, Boomer, remember episode 1 of Legends of Evantris Prime?
Just no.
Legends of Evantris, period.
Yeah, that was it.
Very first episode.
We're not done though.
We're not done.
We are
Innovations and chill. So we've had a lot of gifted subs and we got a lot of new people hanging around. So if you want to check out Adventures and Chill, which is our subscriber-only stream that we do after every session of D&D, talk about our favorite moments. We talk about your favorite moments, and we just kind of hang out.
We ask and answer questions.
Yes,
a little bit
and thank
behind
you
the
so
scenes
much,
content.
Cablancer, if that's if I'm reading that correctly.
Thank you.
Oh, Cablancer, sorry about that.
Come on, say.
I thought it'd be something like Cablancer, it's spicy. I don't know.
So, Amarana says, so that's a break, right? We continue in 10 minutes? Go ahead.
Yeah. So that was the season 3, I guess, finale.
Season 4.
Season 4, technically.
Third stream
The forward
thing.
arc, but it's the season as far as so arc 4 of and there'll be a little bit of, there's some loose ends to tie up. We have to fetch Essel and Mossgrove and return the hammer and all that biz, but that will continue in Arc 5.
Yeah.
And that is.
And that's a Prime for a while. It'll be a couple months.
Yep, so we'll be switching to Thursdays.
We'll be switching to Thursdays. This is our last Tuesday session for a while. And then we go into the spooky season.
So when's our next session then?
Our next session.
Our very next session is the first session of Edge of Night, which is the 30th.
The 30th. So, the 30th. So, we are off next week after Gen Con and taking a quick break as we transition from Tuesdays to Thursdays and from Prime to Edge of Night and Icebound. But Beneath Dark Wings is continuing, obviously. The only campaign that is going to be on hiatus is Prime. So hopefully you all enjoyed the second half of this arc.
It's the perfect chance to get caught up if you haven't seen all the episodes.
Yes.
You have a few months to get caught up on YouTube, so check it out. It should be all there.
Soul Robin says, is a special Warforged coming back in Edge of Midnight?
I can confirm that the return of, or I guess the canonical introduction of old Jericho Styx, but you can call him Jericho, most folk do. He will be one of the party.
Thank you, Exhausted!
Thank you.
Yeah, and hold on. We thank you so much. It's so kind. Oh, Jericho Styx. It'll be a great old time. I will say, I think that what we're doing, forget the whole meta plot, this whole thing. I think we're just going to be in the mansion, and I'm just going to roleplay as Gus. And you guys can never leave.
Quit.
You guys can never leave.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine?
I mean, we could just murder him.
Yeah, I could.
He probably has 8 hit points. We could probably punch him to death.
It sounds like the result of a spell like Mental Cage, where you're trapped inside a horrific mind nightmare.
Synaptic static.
Thank you, Iron Board DM, for the gift of the Tempest.
Yay!
Always happy to do it. Thank you. And thank you very much, Zach. I think that's, Zach. For well done with the
Fair.
Yeah, I deliberated for an absurd amount of time before I landed on the voice for Baba Yaga. Thank you so much, Bert.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
That's a big one.
Next
one's 2 years.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm glad that my Baba Yaga characterization landed. Anyway, quick advantage and chill because we all have to go pack and go to bed. Because Gen Con's tomorrow. So quick one. So we'll do a quick.
We'll be back in 10 minutes, and then after that, it'll be 2 Thursdays from now.
Yes. Yeah. So join us all over new subs. We'll be cutting over. Just restart your feed. And
okay, we're gonna cut over in a second.
Toodaloo.
Until next time.